Okay. Well, hey, first of all, everybody, we want to thank you guys for being here tonight and taking of your time to be with us. We're going to try to keep this pretty brief. And the bulk of what we want to do tonight is give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions of us and just kind of have some direct one-on-one Q&A, especially for parents. Upcoming freshmen, you guys and eighth grade marchers, you probably have the most questions of anybody when we get to the orientation meeting that'll happen in May. And if we can kind of answer some of those things for you now, might help when we get to the orientation meeting. If it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, then our time's well spent here tonight. So really quickly, I'm going to take us through a short presentation that might kind of answer some of the questions that you already have. And then after we go through that, Ms. Hammock, Ms. D, if as we're going through it or after, if y'all have anything to add to it, just chime in there, and then we'll end tonight with a little bit of Q&A. All right, so let me see if I can get this to share. All right, can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, good deal. All right, so we're just gonna take you through some information tonight that's again, it's aimed towards you guys who are upcoming ninth graders, and also if you're wanting to be an eighth grade marcher, an eighth grade alternate, this is some information for you too. We're going to gear this at the beginning more towards incoming freshmen, but current seventh graders, hold on, because we'll get there. Hey, the first thing we want to say is welcome to the Pride. We're excited that you're here. I can't believe that we've got this big of a turnout already for this virtual meet. We're just really excited to have you. I really want to encourage all of you to continue with your participation in band. We see this as one band program from 6th through 12th grade. Unfortunately, Ms. Hammock and I, we hate that we can't get to see you guys during the day just because of how our schedules work out. But we're very excited to have you guys come with us. And I know that everybody can be a bit hesitant or, you know, have questions and pause about coming into high school in general. And your questions right now at this point are, well, I just don't know what it's going to be like. And I just wanted to remind you before we get started, that's right, you don't know. You don't know yet, but you're going to find out. And trust me, we wouldn't invest so much of our own personal time in this if it wasn't worth it. Miss D can tell you that. I can tell you that. Miss Hammock can tell you that. Is it worth going on in high school? Absolutely. So what are some of the things that we do at the high school? Let me come back over here real quick and check and see. Got somebody joining the meeting. Good, got them in. Come back over here. What do we do at the high school? What's high school band like? We're really comfortable now with knowing what middle school band is like, but that unknown can kind of be a bit of a fear sometimes. What is band going to be like? Well, honestly, band in high school is very much, oh, cool, we got Xander coming in. Band at high school is basically the same as band in middle school, except the scope, the range of what we're doing is larger. I don't mean the musical range, but I just mean the scope of the things that we're involved in, we're doing more of. There are more performances. There are the performances that we are doing are larger. So that's really the only difference. The Pride is one band program, 6th through 12th grade, and Miss D and Miss Hammock and I work a lot. You guys don't see us all at the same time, but we are all constantly in contact with each other. We're, I've got to brag on Miss Hammock and Miss D. You guys just don't realize how lucky you are to have two of the best band directors in the state working with you every day. I mean, they are phenomenal, but more than that, they are just so much fun. We are all really great friends, and it's so much fun working with each other. We're all three different, but we all three share the same values about, why is band important? Why do we do what we do, and how do we do it? Our methods and our approaches are different because we're three different people, but we do what we do in the same way. So you're going to get what you've gotten from Miss D in middle school it's going to be what you get at the high school. We're very even keeled. We lay out clear expectations, and we rehearse it. We play music. That's what we do. It's very much what you guys have come to expect in middle school band. The high school, what's different about the high school band is how we're performing and what we're doing. The big difference, and probably what a lot of your questions are going to be centered on tonight, and honestly, probably what most of our talking about tonight will be geared towards, would be the marching band. So the high school band consists of 3 set ensembles. The marching band is one of those. The 2 concert programs are another part of those. We have 2 concert bands and the marching band, but we also have other opportunities as well, like the jazz band that gets to happen sometimes, and our percussion ensemble. Miss Hammock is doing a fantastic job building up our percussion program and getting new equipment and getting students excited about being percussionists. We've got a lot of cool opportunities. There are more opportunities for different things to do at the high school level than at the middle school level, because you guys have been playing for a bit longer now. So kind of continuing along with this, everybody in grades 9 through 12 who wants to be a part of the high school band and they have a great attitude, they're welcome to join, even if they've not been band members at Rainbow Middle before, or if we've had people who are freshmen and sophomores before join. That's fine. But if you're already a part of the middle school program, then you're assumed to be a future member of the high school band when you come here as a 9th grader. All high school band members are year-round instrumentalists. That means that we're in class. I think the thing that's important to remember about being in the band is that band is a class. We have a curriculum, we have standards, and it's a year-round class. We don't use the word season a lot because it's not a season. The marching band happens to operate during football season, but that's not band season. We're a year-round class. And everybody you see with the band program at any time, whether it's the marching band or the jazz band or the color guard, anything that you're seeing, all those students are year-round instrumentalists. They play their instruments in class. All of the members are also part of the marching band. That group consists of winds, people playing their wind instruments, people playing their percussion instruments, battery and front ensemble. Battery percussion are the kids who are marching with drums out on the field. The front ensemble are students who are playing stationary percussion instruments in the front of the field. The placement, any percussion student or other students who want to maybe switch over to percussion, who want to do that, that's fine. Everybody's got a place in the band if they want it. The percussion is a section, though, where what you're playing in the marching band is going to be determined by Miss Hammock. It's her job to balance everything out and make sure that we've got people where we need them to be as successful as possible. We also have the auxiliary units. That's the color guard and the Crimsonette dance line. They're part of the Pride. Those members are all members of the band, year-round members, and they audition to be a part of that group. Again, so anybody who wants to be in the band can be in the band. Those 2 sections, you have to audition to be a part of that group and pass that audition. But hey, say somebody for some reason didn't pass that audition, hey, come on, we'll find a spot for you. A little bit about that. The Pride performs at all varsity football games. There are 10 of those in the regular season. We could go into the postseason. We'll play at any postseason games, any playoff games that occur. Generally, we do 2 parades, one for Veterans Day, one for the Christmas parade in downtown Gadsden. And we usually do, I made a mistake here. I put 1 marching contest. We usually do 2. Generally, trip performances are made by the marching band as well. We host 5 concerts a year. I know we've been talking a lot about the marching band, but the high school band also hosts 5 concerts a year. Again, what we do in class every day, 6th and 7th period, that's actually, you know, that's just like you've been doing in middle school. We're preparing literature for a concert. We do a fall concert right around Halloween. We do a Christmas program at the end of the semester. We have our MPA preview concert, which you guys just were a part of. After you guys left, we came and did ours at 7 o'clock. Of course, we'll do MPA, and we'll have a spring concert. So in short, we're here to give you guys the best music education that we can give you. We rehearse literature, music, we perform. We have a great time doing it. So that's what we do at the high school. All right, really quickly, some other bits of information here. Hopefully this looks familiar to you. You've seen this somewhere. You've gotten this from Miss D, or through Miss D from us, Miss Hammock and I. Upcoming stuff for you guys to be a part of. If you're interested in being in the band next year, either as a freshman or as a 8th grade marcher, these are some of the things that you need to be at. By the way, all of this stuff can be found on our calendar. And in just a minute, I'll take you over to the website and show you that. It's all on there. In fact, our calendar already is updated from now and through to December. All right, so here are the things coming up. In May, we have 3 events after school for you guys to be a part of. The first one is going to be reading band. That's going to be everybody for next year's group. That's going to happen on Monday, May 10th. And it's what it sounds like. We're going to read through next year's halftime show. We're going to play through that music for the first time as next year's band. That's a short thing. I think we're done at 4:30 that day. The next 3 days after that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're having our spring training. We used to call that rookie camp, except now we're not just bringing in the first-year marchers. We're going to bring in everybody. We're going to have a little spring training session. It'll be some outside, some inside. So, be ready for the heat. We'll have some water. You'll probably want to bring your own. We're going to teach you how to march on that day. So just some of the basics of that stuff. It'll be a lot of getting to know each other, getting to know the other people in your section, and just kind of helping everybody get comfortable with what we're going to do. The last day, that's Monday, May 17th. That's going to be our orientation meeting. That'll be for all parents and students for next year's program. We'll go through the handbook. We'll give you all the information that you need to know. We'll collect some information from you, and then we'll get everybody out of here. That will be an in-person meeting, we hope. If we're not able to do that in person safely in the auditorium, then we'll probably do that in the football stadium. We'll get some information out to you later, but either way, that's going to take place Monday, May 17th at 6 o'clock. And that's it. That's all you got for May. June, you'll notice there's nothing on June. We take June off. We're firm believers that you need a summer. We need a summer. June, take off. July, we start coming back. We'll generally come back 2 weeks before school starts and have our camp. We need that time to put together our halftime show and get ready. We bring in some outside help, usually some students from Jacksonville State University, and we get everything ready a couple of weeks before school. I'll talk to you about that schedule just quickly here. I want you to notice that the first set of dates here, those are just for our percussion students and auxiliary students. So anybody who's a percussionist or color guard or crimsonettes, they come in for those 3 days, and they're going to come in through the morning, go 8 to 12, take an hour for lunch. They'll come back and do 1 to 3. They'll meet with their instructors. Those students in those groups, they do rehearse more than everybody else because of the specialized nature of their activity. Mini camp is for everybody. That's when we'll all come in, and that is 8 in the morning till noon, and then we go home. It's for those 4 days. We'll be doing a lot of music rehearsal. We'll be doing a lot of basic marching. The goal for mini camp is really to kind of get everybody together for the first time, kind of learn the process of how we rehearse, and to learn our pregame show. We actually do a full pregame show with music and drill on the field. And we'll learn that then. Then everybody again comes in for band camp after that. There are 5 days of band camp, and that schedule is 8 in the morning till noon. Then we go away during the hot part of the day. You go home. Then you come back at 6 o'clock when it's starting getting a bit cooler, and we go from 6 to 9. And that schedule really works well. We did it for the first time last year, and it gets everybody inside during the hottest part of the day and just makes it a lot cooler, a lot more comfortable. We'll talk more about camp and stuff at orientation, or maybe you guys have got questions about it later. It's a lot of fun, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. One thing I meant to mention in here is to say this. We work extraordinarily hard to keep after-school commitments to an absolute minimum. I think one of the questions you guys are going to have a lot is going to be about scheduling and about things like that. We really keep things to a minimum for after-school commitments. The most of those after-school commitments that we have are associated with the marching band, but they're only for the first 2 months of school. We come back 2 weeks before school starts. We rehearse 2 days a week after school on Tuesday and Thursday. Percussion and auxiliary do have one on Monday as well, but generally everybody just has 2 days. And after our last marching contest at the beginning of October, we cut it down to 1 day a week. When we're done with football games, we're done with after-school rehearsals. So it really goes by quicker than you think. All right, I want to show the website really quick. Let me stop this and go back. First of all, is everybody still okay? You still in with me? Haven't lost anybody? Okay, cool. Hey, Miss Hammock, Miss D, this would be a perfect time if I missed anything so far. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try to go quick so that you don't go to sleep. Let me see if I can show you the website. I'll just share my whole screen here. All right, this is our website. And I want to encourage you guys to go out here and check it out. A lot of the questions that you guys have, you can find answers to by poking around in here. It's the current website for you as well. The middle school has a tab on it. It's really easy. It's theprideofsouthside.com. And there's a couple of things I want to show you on here. First of all, the calendar. If you'll just go to SHS Band and hover, you'll have a drop-down menu. By the way, this has a mobile version as well, so if you're looking at it on your phone, it's nice and convenient too. There are resources here for members, our blog, I'll show you that in a second, our calendar we're about to go to, forms and handbook fees. There's all kinds of information here. This will be previous year's information. As we get closer to May, it'll be updated, but it'll still give you a good idea of what to look at. Nothing's changing drastically. Let's look at the calendar. Like I said, you can go and see there's everything. And we've got it updated all the way through December. So there's a lot of great resources there. Also, I want to encourage you to take a look at the blog. You can see everything that we have sent out, Ms. Hammock and I. Anytime that we send out information, we upload it here to the blog as well, just to have an extra resource for you guys. A couple other quick things. I'm going to talk to you in a minute about signing up for band next year. You'll do that here. You'll click on the registration button. At the end of this meeting, I'll put a YouTube video up of this recording, and I'll put it here under this orientation stuff. But there's a Google form here. If you'll just go ahead and fill that out, this is all the information that we need. This doesn't sign you up with the school. as far as signing up for band as a class, but it gives us your information. It says, hey, I want to be a part of the band, and then we can use that to go and talk to the counselors. You still need to fill band out on your schedule with the school, but really you're not signed up unless you check in with us. We need this information to get you signed up. If you haven't done so already and you're interested in being a member of the Color Guard or the Crimsonettes, and you'll click on here, and you'll need to fill out the form that's associated with this. We were supposed to start Color Guard. I'm sorry, we were supposed to start Crimsonet Clinic and auditions this week. Hopefully, some of you guys saw that email. Our instructor was in a really bad car accident. She's at home resting now. She's going to make a full recovery, but she's in a lot of pain. So we're having to postpone. We're hoping within the next 2 days to have a new date for you guys of when we'll be able to go back and do that. All right, just a couple of quick more things I'll take you through, and then we'll open it up for questions. Let's see if I can present this again. That was the website. We kind of showed you that. If you would, go ahead, and you can even do this now while we're talking. If you know, hey, yeah, I'm sold. I'm going to be in the band next year. Even if you're wanting to be an 8th grade marcher and you're not sure, I don't know if I'll make it, or what's that process like, go ahead and fill this out. That'll really help us out. So some other things. What do I need to know? First of all, band is a class. I mentioned this earlier. The marching band only rehearses after school 2 days a week for the first 2 months of school. Other than that, we try very hard to limit the amount of after-school commitments to an absolute minimum. What are the costs? That's a big question, I'm sure, for the parents. What are the costs associated with being in the band? The membership fee that is paid by all of our members is $200 for the year. Now, that is used as our operational budget. That's you pay that to Southside High School to be a part of the band. That is how we operate and maintain the band program with. That is less than any other program comparable to our size. If you look at other programs with our of our size and accomplishment outside of our area, Northeast, Northwest Georgia, Central, and North Alabama, most of those programs have band fees that are in the $400 up range. In fact, some of them are over $1,000 for the year. We try to keep that to a minimum. In fact, we have reduced band fees over the past couple of years. The $200 is for everybody. And that's how we operate the program. We receive no money from the Board of Education, just like none of our other band programs, none of our other extracurricular programs, athletics or otherwise. They're all completely self-sufficient. To help out with that cost, we offer 3 or 4 fundraisers every year to help students directly earn money to pay off their fees. If you don't want to participate in fundraisers, great. If you want to and you've paid off your band fees, excellent. Thank you. We could use your help. And we try not to overdo it with fundraisers, but we also want to give people the opportunity who need the help. So $200 for the year isn't bad. We pay those in month. You can do that either in 2 ways. You can either pay that all up front if you want to, great, you're done. Or you can pay that out over, we suggest a 4-month plan of $50 at a time. When we start requesting band fees in June, most of our costs for the year are, of course, associated with the marching band. And we'll need some purchasing power. So we ask for people to start paying those band fees in June. You can do June, July, August, and September, and then you're done. But again, we offer fundraisers to help out with that. Other things,
Mr. Weaver.
yes.
Can I chime in on that really quickly?
Please.
The weekly rehearsals, the WIN players do have 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday rehearsals. But one thing to remember is percussion and auxiliary units, the dance line and the color guard, you have an additional rehearsal, which is on Monday. So percussion and auxiliary will rehearse 3 times a week. Though the Monday rehearsals will be separate from the WINs, it'll be just one-on-one with you and your instructors, while the horns will practice on with everybody, with the entire ensemble, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. One thing to think about with your fundraisers is anything, if we have a $200 band fee, if you participate in the fundraisers and you make a profit of, let's say, $210 total, that $10 will be put away in your cut time account, which we'll go over that at orientation. And that $10 will flow over into the next year's band fees. So if you raise over $200 for yourself, anything extra you have for this year will roll over into your next year's band fees. That's it.
Yeah. You do such a great job, Miss Sammy. Thank you. She is so organized. She handles all the money for us, and she does a great job. So thank you for chiming in on that. Let me see if I can share this again. Something that she said that's easy to miss is that anything that we fundraise in the name of the band program has to go to the school. So if you do our Coke sale fundraiser and you raise $250 profit, we can't just give you the $50. That money was raised in the name of the band program, so it has to stay with the school. But we can give you a credit towards next year's fees or any other costs you may have associated with that, and you've got a $50 credit right there. Something that's also important to note is our second bullet point here. It's a state law here that we cannot use fundraising credit towards anything that you keep. So auxiliary members in their uniforms, for example, or bibbers and shoes for our instrumentalists. That cost has to come out of pocket for you guys. I wish it were different, but it's a state law and we have to abide by it. All right, so some other things that you might need. Some materials. Let's talk about the things that you need. Instrumentalists, wind players, percussionists, people wearing the marching band uniform. They purchase their own bibbers. That's the pants. They're really tall pants. They go up way past your waist. And then the jacket goes on top of that. We purchase those bibbers and shoes. You do that. But after your first year, you've got them. There are more costs associated with your first year, but you get to keep all this stuff. The cost for that is $80 total. What we'll do is everybody's going to be fitted who needs those on May 11th. That's our first day of spring training. You'll be given a card. At the end of that, you'll actually try on pants. You'll try on shoes. You got mamas there who know what they're looking for. They'll tell you exactly what size you need. When you leave, you'll be given a card with your name and your shoe size and your pant size, and it'll have instructions. Go to this website, and you've got 2 weeks to pay for it. You will actually pay the company that we purchase these from, that's March Masters. They'll have a private website set up for us. Everybody will have 2 weeks after the 11th to pay for those, and they'll be shipped to the school, and we'll give them out on the first day of camp. Auxiliary and drum majors, they pay for their own uniforms. Again, we already talked about the fundraising credit. The other thing, other materials that you need, by the way, this is just for upcoming freshmen. This bit is not for any 8th grade marchers. The high school band, we wear formal concert attire for all of our performances, not with the marching band. Again, you'll take care of this your first year, and then you'll have it. We purchased the concert attire from Tuxedo Inn of Gadsden, and we ask that you have that taken care of by November, usually the first or second Saturday in November, and then you have it for our formal Christmas concert. The good thing I like about that is, again, you keep it. It's a beautiful dress. You've got a nice black dress, ladies, in your wardrobe to have. Gentlemen, it's actually not a tuxedo. We actually, because you guys keep this, we want you to have some wear and use out of it. It's a black suit. It looks like a tuxedo from out in the audience, but it's a black suit that you can go and wear after high school. Job interviews, anything you might need. Black suit's a good staple to have in your arsenal. So you get to keep that, and you'll get some good wear out of it. Other materials, really quickly. All students need a high-quality, well-maintained instrument. When we get to orientation, in our handbook is a list of suggested instruments. The main thing is that it needs to be an instrument, a name brand instrument, so that you can get replacement parts if and when it breaks. If you go and buy a really cheap instrument from the internet, most of the times when you do that, when it breaks, and inevitably you take it into the shop at Gadsden Music and they say, I can't do anything for it, we can't get any parts. So we need a high quality, well-maintained instrument. We've got some suggestions for you in our handbook. Some of the instruments, though, especially with the marching band, are so expensive that they're provided by the school. Tubas, euphoniums, mellophones, marching baritones, percussion instruments. Those students, we just ask for a $50 yearly rental fee. That helps us cover the cost of maintenance, which is obviously pretty high with some of those very large and expensive instruments. Last thing that you need to know, and I think this is probably one of the questions that we get a lot of. Don't let anybody tell you different. You don't have to choose. If you are a cheerleader, great. If you play soccer, awesome. If you are in EYO, perfect. If you're involved in any athletic event or any club or anything, that's great. We want you. Again, band is a class. It's a year-round class. We want you. We don't want anybody to fall into that myth of you have to choose, because you don't. And this picture here is proof of that. That's not even everybody. That's just some of the people that we could get, even with the COVID restrictions this year. We've got a lot of different activities and events and sports represented in that picture. So if you do some of this, or if you know somebody who's maybe not here on this meeting tonight and they're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to do band because I want to do basketball, there's no need to choose. There is no need to choose. That's great. We want people to be involved. I'm telling you, there's not a conflict that we can't work out. I would love, and I'm hoping it happens sometime in the next couple of years, I want to see a football player in their cleats holding their instrument out there marching. I'm all for it. I promise you I am. We will work it out. You do not have to choose. Okay, really quickly. Information for upcoming freshmen. Next year's ninth graders, this is for you. There are more costs associated with your first year because of the materials you need, but you get to keep them and you get to reuse. We try to help you out with that as much as possible. Go ahead and plan on that $80 to get your bibbers and shoes. If you make an auxiliary unit, be planning on $150 for your uniform. All current 8th graders are assumed to be a part of next year's program, but please go ahead and register online with us today. Information for 8th grade alternates. We offer the opportunity for current 7th graders. If you want to, as an 8th grader, march with the band, we would love to have you, because we need some people to fill in some spots. As we get going in band camp, we'll probably have a few spots come up where we need to plug in somebody. Miss D writes our drill. That's what the formations that we're doing on the field with the marching band. She does a great job, but it's very difficult if we have holes to make that work. So we want anybody who's in 8th grade to come in and plug you guys in where we can. If you're interested at all, go ahead and register and sign up. We will select 8th graders to be alternates at the end of our spring training in May. So on that last day, we'll make our final evaluation, and really the overwhelming criterion for assessment there, whether or not we think you can be an 8th grade marcher, is your attitude and your maturity. Alternates are members of the marching band, and they attend all rehearsals and performances. They just realize they're not guaranteed a spot in the halftime show. Miss D, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think we usually get everybody written in about the first week of September or so at the latest.
Right. Generally, we can get them in during band camp. So, I mean, you know, I can see who all's there, and we can make it work for whoever is there. We'll get it. We'll get it worked.
Yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah. We will find a way. But even if for some reason you're not a part of the halftime show at the beginning, you still
We'll get you in.
We'll get you in. You're there. Perform in pregame, perform in the stands at all parades and everything. You're a part of that ensemble. We need you there. Same attendance policy and all. 8th grade marchers do not pay high school band fees. All that stuff about $200, you don't do that, okay? Because you're middle school band members. You pay the middle school band fee. However, you do still have to purchase your materials, anything resale items, anything that you need, like bibbers and shoes and all that. You do have to take care of that cost. All right. And so now I think we're going to open it up in just a second for your questions. Miss D, Miss Hammock, anything that you guys want to add before we open up the floor?
You should all do it. It's the most fun thing ever, ever. You will love every minute of it.
We've already started working on the show, and we think you guys are going to have a blast with the music this year. And auxiliary, we can't wait to utilize you guys and just make the show really come alive. So we hope to see all of you guys on the field with us. We hope to see you in May for rookie camp. It's going to be a fun year, guys, and we're really all looking forward to it.
All right. I can't add anything to what they said. That was perfect. It is a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun. It is completely worth it. So let's open up the floor now for questions. Why don't we start with our current 7th graders? Anybody got a question about 8th grade marchers? All right, easy enough. What about other questions? Anybody? Shoot, parents. All right. I see Isabella.
During football season, they still do away games also?
Yes, sir.
And are they going to do anything during basketball season, like in the home games or anything like that inside the gym? Do they do anything like that?
We perform at all varsity football games. Home and away. This past year was different with COVID restrictions. I
didn't know if they were still restricted.
We don't know anything yet.
Okay.
I wouldn't anticipate on it, but we really probably won't know anything like that until the end of school, maybe even the beginning of the summer. But right now, we're going to go ahead and plan like it's a normal year and say yes, that we go to all home and away football games. As far as basketball, that was your question. We occasionally, somebody will come up to us and ask for us to play at a basketball game like a pep band. But usually when they ask us to do it, it's too late because we've already scheduled something else. Not opposed to that. We don't have a normally scheduled active pep band for basketball. We're all about supporting any and everything at the school. So you never know, something could come up, but there's not like a standing pep band ensemble.
Okay.
That was a great question. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Alyssa?
So I was wondering, I kind of don't want to do float anymore, and I was wondering if I could switch instruments.
Hey, Miss Hammock, you're really good about this. You want to take this one?
For switching instruments, that's okay. But it's up to you to work really, really hard to catch up on the instrument that you're looking to. Where you can start with is asking Miss D on a recommendation. She knows you. She knows your work ethic and everything. I'm sure you work really, really hard, and she can steer you in the direction of possibly changing instruments for that. But it'll take a lot of work on your part to switch up.
Like, I'm looking at percussion since I do know how to do percussion.
Okay. Percussion will be different because we have limited spots in the percussion section. And because we have set 4 snare drum, 5 bass drum, 2 tenors, and then a few keyboard instruments. So what instrument do you play? Flute, that's right. You already said that. I'm sorry. Now, flute is super important, especially on the field. We need as many flutes as possible so we could hear them. And but it's something that we can definitely look at, and we'll just have to talk to Miss D on that option, okay?
All right. I mean, I'd like to stay with flute, but I do know percussion.
That's really cool that you know more than one instrument. But we'll talk about that as the end of April comes along, okay?
All right.
And you're welcome.
That question kind of brings to mind something else. A lot of times, one of the things that people get intimidated about when they come to be a part of the high school band is the amount of people, the volume of that many people, and the ability level of everybody else. I know my first time with the marching band, I was in 7th grade. My high school band, we marched 7th graders, a small school, and there's a big difference maturity-wise, musically. There's a big difference between a 7th grader and a senior. There's a big difference between an incoming freshman and a senior. Those guys are going to play really, really well. They're going to read really well. They're going to pick up on things a lot faster than you are at the beginning. But guess what? 4 years ago, they were in the exact same spot that you are. Miss Hammock and Miss D and I, we were all beginners at one point. We all started at the very beginning. So don't let that intimidate you. Don't let that scare you. Everybody's coming at this fresh and new. All right, any other questions? Just unmute your mic and jump in there.
Question. First of all, does my mic work?
Yes.
Yay! Yay!
Finally.
Finally. Okay, that's my first question. Second, are we doing a pep band? Are we like going to pep rallies?
Yeah, we always do pep rallies.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's the whole band. It's not a pep band. Generally, pep band means like a smaller ensemble of the marching band. That's everybody. We at the high school we play at all of our pep rallies.
Awesome.
Yeah, and those happen during school. Good question. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Moore.
I'm on keyboards right now, and what would I have to do to like switch to snare so I can march it?
Good question. Do you go by Isabella?
Yes, ma'am.
Our Isabella. That's a really good question. That really depends on our clinic we have here in April. We're going to try different instruments. And if you're interested in a battery instrument, such as snare drum, we're going to put you on one and just see how you play. If this year doesn't work out, we have, I work with you guys one-on-one and as a group, and we'll get you where you want to be to be able to march snare. So we'll just assess it this April and see where you fall in.
Okay, thank you.
Jefferson, I thought I saw you waiting patiently. What was your question, sir?
My question was about like if sectionals are something that's every section has to do, or it's just something that a section leader can choose to do. And
yeah, if you may, one of the first things that we do in May during reading band and then through spring training is we will break out into larger and smaller groups. We'll start as an entire ensemble, then we'll break out into subsectionals where I'll have all the winds. Miss Hammock will have all the percussion. Our auxiliary instructors will have the color guard and the dance line, and they'll be getting differentiated instruction. And then sometimes I will work, and Miss Hammock will work with our student leadership team, and we'll break out. All the tubas will go in one area, and all the trumpets will go in the next area, and all the clarinets will work with their section leader. And over the summer, we encourage everybody to, hey, get everybody's contact information, help each other out, just kind of be a safety net for people. You'll get really close to the people in your section. You'll get to know them really well. You'll get to know other people in the band as well too. Sometimes the section leaders, they want to get together over the summer and do things. That's completely fine. But it's always low key, no pressure. there's nothing officially happening in the summer until camp. So if you get together, great, you know, but don't feel pressured to do so, or you know, nothing that's coming from another student should be treated as official. Does that make sense? Our student leadership team is great, but the important stuff that's going to come from a band director.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible for me to switch from bass to baritone, or should I? Like both, should I, and is it possible?
Sign up for what you want to march. If you want to do baritone, sign up for it. And the only thing that we may look at and go, ooh, I don't know, is, you know, if we had like a couple of years ago where we had like the world's largest baritone section ever. We had 11 kids wanted to play baritone that year, and we just didn't own enough. Then we just go, hey, Timmy, can you play bass? You know, we'll just have to see. But sign up for what you want to do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Isabella?
Is peer helpers a thing in high school?
Yes.
Because I'm a peer helper here and I kind of like it. So
Cool.
It is a thing, and it is a class. There is an actual class that you would have every day as a peer helper. And I'll send your names up to the high school usually. Ms. Couch, do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I was one of the sponsors last year, and I know they just posted peer helper signups. I'm sorry, one of my kids is getting ice. They just posted peer helper signups, and I'm sure if you check the high school social media, they have a peer helpers page on Instagram and probably on Facebook. They'll probably have that information posted already, or you can just ask your sponsor at the middle school, and they should have already been in contact with Miss Hanson, who is in charge of the class, and Miss French is also a co-sponsor. So one of the two of those, but I would check the Instagram first. They may have signups. I know they've posted them on the halls. They did it either today or yesterday. Well, it wasn't yesterday, so they posted them today. I would check social media and see if they have something up on it.
So it is definitely a thing. It is an elementary through high school thing in our county.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I actually have a question about, I'm sorry, I chimed in. I have a question about cleanup and stadiums. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to even talk to Coach Holcomb or to the football boosters or whatever. Are we going to be responsible for being tasked with cleaning the stadium for a game like we did a year or two ago? I was just trying to get a game plan together.
We still help out with that. We do one or two of the games we're responsible for that, but we don't ask for volunteers. We pay a gentleman to do it, just like football does. There's a crew that comes in and does that. But yeah, we share in that responsibility. But we always our area, we always pick up after ourselves. And if you drive by there on the way out, there's always one. You can always tell where the band was because there's this one perfect square of concrete.
Yeah, I just had laughable memories of Rodney bringing the leaf blower and getting nacho cheese, Cheeto, or tortilla chips stuck to his leg when they were blowing it out one year. And I just was trying to mentally prepare him for having to be obligated to do that if necessary.
Yeah, no, you won't have to do that. We'll pay somebody to do that for our share. Jennifer, did you have a question?
I go by Aubrey, by the way.
Oh, I knew that. I'm sorry. I just saw the name right there. I'm sorry.
I wanted to know is like when we go on trips for marching band, are we gonna go out of state?
That's a great question. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. We haven't planned anything yet. Next year would be a trip year. We generally, guys, we do trips every other year. Last year was a trip year. We were in Chicago for the St. Patrick's Day parade. We were in Chicago when the world started to end. It was very interesting. Truth be told, in spite of all the craziness that happened, it was my favorite trip ever because the kids were fantastic. Our trip sponsor, she was fantastic handling everything. We just had a great time. Generally, though, we take trips every other year. We've gone to San Antonio before and done the Fiesta Flambeau parade there. We went to Orlando a few years ago and played in Disney World. We were going to do the Chicago St. Patrick's Day parade. We've done the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day parade before. So there's a good chance that we will go out of state to perform in some sort of large nationally televised performance somewhere. Or it could be with a concert band. Who knows one year? We just don't know. But hopefully we will be able to take a trip next year. I hope that gets to happen. We can't really make that call and plan on that until we know more of what next year is going to look like. But fingers crossed, we definitely want to do something. Because traveling is one of the main things that you do band for. Yes, sir. E.T. Jeff.
Okay, so I have a question. Are we going to do the same process that we did last year with like who goes to the football games and who doesn't, or is it just going to be the full band this time?
We just don't know yet. I hope it's everybody. We just don't know yet.
All right.
This is Morgan. You may have answered this when I accidentally hung up there, but how often will the 8th graders go over to the high school to practice, and how is that going to be coordinated? Great question.
Like we said, 8th grade marchers are members of the marching band. So all rehearsals and performances they attend to. The only thing that they're not a part of is obviously class, our in-class stuff. 8th grade alternates will need to ride the transfer bus from RMS to the high school, and they'll get there about 3:15. That's actually why we start all of our rehearsals at 3:15 and not right at 3 o'clock. So they'll need to ride the transfer bus, or if you don't want to do that and you want to transport your child there, that's fine too. But we'll start right at 3:15, and you'll be there for all rehearsals and performances.
So for music instruments, they would do the transfer bus a couple of times a week?
Yes, sir. Tuesdays. Well, actually on Thursdays now, on Thursdays you wouldn't need to ride the transfer bus because our Thursday after school rehearsal schedule is actually 6 to 8, and that's in the stadium. But by the way, and I didn't mention this, I'm sorry, I'm used to it being in the handbook and not including it on this. Monday, our after school is just auxiliary and percussion. That's 3:15 to 5. That's with their instructors. Tuesday is everybody after school at the high school at our band field, our band and soccer rehearsal field. That's 3:15 to 5. That's when 8th graders would need to ride the transfer bus over to the high school. Wednesdays we don't mess with. Thursdays we get to rehearse at night when it's cooler, and we get to rehearse in the stadium, on the field, underneath the lights. And we invite everybody to come. You can come and watch rehearsal on those days. Those are always a lot of fun, those Thursday nighttime rehearsals. So really, you would only need, 8th graders would only need to ride the transfer bus one day a week, unless we had any 8th grade alternates doing percussion, and they'd do Monday and Tuesday. These are some great questions, guys. Anything else? Aubrey.
One super last question. Have you guys heard about Mid-South yet? Is it back on this year?
Nothing yet, but I would assume so. If you look on the calendar, we've gone ahead and we've put in our let me just go ahead and show you this real quick. Once school starts, this is what our calendar looks like. You can see we're finishing up camp at the beginning of August. We've got 2 rehearsals after camp before school starts. First day of school, we're not messing with anything. That first Friday, we're not messing with anything. Then we start our normal schedule. Auxiliary and percussion on Monday, everybody on Tuesday, take Wednesday off. We've got our Thursday nighttime rehearsal. That's 5:45 to 8. Then we got our first game. If you look at September, looks the same, right? Same rehearsal schedule. Games happening here. Last Saturday in September is always Mid-South. We're planning on it. That's our first contest. And our last one happens that first Saturday of October. We're planning on Hewitt Trustful. Haven't heard anything from them, and I'm assuming that it's happening. Hey, and look, after that, we cut it down to 1 day a week. That's all it is. So that's our plan right now. Aubrey, did you have a question?
I did. It was about band boosters. Like, I don't really know. What are band boosters?
Band boosters, that's the Pride Music Association is our parent booster club. The role of the PMA is to support our band program financially and with any sort of physical help like volunteering and things like that. We have a board of fantastic parents who give a lot of their time and energy into operating a nonprofit organization, and they operate different fundraising events throughout the year. Like we normally do a 5K run, a golf tournament. They pursue grants, and basically their job is to raise money to help supplement what we're able to do at the high school. And they try to help the kids. They operate one of the concession stands. They feed the kids at all home football games. They do a lot to take care of us. We absolutely need help from the band boosters. And parents, I'm glad you mentioned that, Aubrey. Parents, if you're interested at all, if you've got any sort of skill sets, don't let everything I said intimidate you of, I don't have time for this. There's a way for you to help out and volunteer your time. Every one of you guys has got skill sets that we need, that we can use in some way to help our kids. I urge you to contact one of the boosters and ask what it is you can do. You may not be able to serve on the board, but there may be a project or something that you can help take care of for our kids. Morgan, are you still here? He might have.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Hey, he's here. Is there anything I missed about the boosters? He's he's our first vice president. He runs the concession stands. Did I miss anything about the boosters?
No, you pretty much got it. I appreciate that. We need every parent to do at least one thing, whether it's just working with the concession stand or working one of the events or being a chaperone. There's always something you can do. It's very easy, not a big deal, but your help is greatly appreciated. So during orientation meeting, we'll have sign-up sheets for like chaperones and concession stand and maybe for a couple of the fundraisers. And you can just put your name and address, name and telephone number, and we'll kind of get with you about what you want to do and how you can help us out.
Thank you. Ms. Hammock, you had a raised hand.
That was for the other thing I chimed in. I raised my hand instead of trying to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. What about Christy Beard?
So I have a question. It's two questions. When does this all start? Like when we first go to the high school, and when is the orientation?
That is, again, let me show you the calendar. Miss D can give you those dates. We sent them out.
Miss D can tell us? All right.
She can, but you can also go to the calendar and look here.
They're on our board. They're all on the board.
They're right here. Okay. What about Evan Clay?
I see how to pay, or I see how to pay the fee. I'm just wondering how soon we can pay it.
You could go ahead and pay that now if you wanted to, but it would Be a little difficult. Miss Hammock's making a face. Maybe we need to wait.
What was it? I was responding to a question,
Okay.
and I answered it wrong, so I was focusing. What was the question?
Gotcha. Somebody was asking if you could go ahead and pay the band fee now. You can pay online. Our online system, it's the county's school system's online payment system. You have to go through and select which school you're paying for. Please, please, please put what you are paying for. John Smith, band fee 1. Make sure you put that information on there, because we don't know how to give you guys credit for it if you don't tell us who it goes towards. And sometimes, last names don't match. But yeah, you could go ahead and do that. Just realized if you do that, it's going to take a while for it to show up as you don't owe anything until we roll cut time over into next year. Really quickly, what cut time is it's an online, Ms. Hammock mentioned that, it's an online system that we use to track financial information. You'll get a statement every month or so saying, hey, you've paid this month's band fee, or hey, you owe this. That's all it's used for. And you can log in there, take a look of, oh, I haven't paid this yet, or hey, good, I've done this all. But until we get this year closed down and next year set up, if you want to go ahead and pay, that's fine. We've got a record of it. That's not a problem. But you wouldn't be able to log in and see it reflected until we begin next year in the early summer.
Thank you.
Yes. Asher.
So Ms. Hammock told me about doing piano for marching band. I was wondering if you had any information on that.
Ms. Hammock, any information for Asher on playing piano?
All I know is we need a pianist for the marching band this year. So if you're interested in playing it, you need to let us know. If there's more than one person interested in playing it, we'll just see how you play, see how you read, and go from there. But we definitely do need a piano player this year.
We need a good synth.
Okay, well, I would like to do piano. If someone else wants to do it, I'll just do sousaphone. So that's what I'll do. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Isabella about to jump out of her seat wanting to play piano. I think she changed her mind from snare to piano. But hey, we could use more tubas if we have the instruments. The more tubas, the better. And then Isabella, if you're interested in piano, then we'll take a look at that when percussion camp rolls around, or clinic rolls around in April.
All right, guys, any other questions before we end up tonight? Yes, Christy.
So my mom wants to know, is Cut Time an app?
Sorry, I'm going back and forth between the comments and this. It is I'm hearing myself on feedback. Are you guys getting an echo?
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
His microphone isn't muted.
I muted you, Miss Hammock. There you go. Try that now.
Okay, can you hear me? Is there an echo? There's still an echo. Let's try this. How does that work? Better? Okay. Cut Time is on a website. You will receive a link to it. I still feel there's an echo. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why. It's a website that will show what you've paid in band fees, what you owe, if you owe fees for uniforms or whatnot, and all of that is on a computer. I'm not familiar with an app. If there is an app, I will definitely look into that. But once we get you guys, once we go through the registration forms, I will make you an account for Cut Time, and then I'll send you an invitation via email to sign up for it. But I'll look and see if there's an app, but I use it on the computer. But I can have that information for you at orientation if there is an app for it.
When is orientation?
May 17th.
May 17th. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. All right, guys. If there's no other questions, we've kept you for about an hour now. Again, I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. We're very excited to have you up and be with the band next year. I can't brag on you guys enough for the job that you've been doing at the middle school. And please, by all means, continue. Come on up to the high school. Encourage your friends who may be on the fence or they're not sure. If it's a dumb reason for not being sure, and you guys know what those are. If there's somebody who's just, hey, band's not my thing, fine, that happens. But if it's somebody who's being dumb, and that's okay, they can be dumb, and you still love them. We all can have those moments. If they're scared, if they're just not sure what it's going to be like, or if they're thinking that they have to choose between band and something else that they really want to do, just encourage them with what you've heard here tonight. That, hey, I think you really need to do this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Come on. Miss Hammock, Miss D, y'all got anything else to wrap up with tonight?
Alyssa has her hand up. Alyssa, why don't you go?
So I know y'all said that we could do like other sports and this, but I'm planning to try out for at least 3 sports things. If I make it to at least 2 of those, will I still be able to do band? Like, or will that mess up the schedule?
It all depends. If you do multiple things, that's fine. You just have to be prepared to be really mature.
All right.
Yeah. So, time management, it's a real life skill. And that's one of the reasons I think one of the pros that you get out of band is you learn how to do time management. You can see the calendar. It's already up there from now until December. Take a look at it, and you would need to just be aware of those commitments and if there are conflicts, to work them out. Just a rule of thumb for you guys. Remember, band's a class, so every performance is a graded part of your overall band grade. Also, we have an attendance policy. We'll go over that during orientation as part of our handbook. A good rule of thumb is a game or a concert. A game or a performance should always trump a rehearsal or a practice. So say it's a matter of you got a soccer game and you got an after-school band rehearsal, you need to be at that soccer game. You got a concert or a performance with the marching band, a parade, a halftime show or something, and you've got a track practice or something, you need to be at that performance. Does that make sense? A game or a performance always needs to trump a practice or a rehearsal. And again, there are, just because we say that we're willing to work with everybody doesn't mean that conflicts won't come up. They do from time to time. You just have to be proactive about it, work to find a solution, keep your coach and us know, and we just have to be responsible and work around those conflicts. Okay. Well, guys, thank you all for being out here tonight. We really appreciate it. Timmy, you're going to be our last question for tonight. Make it a good one.
Is there going to be a Google Classroom for the marching band
yes,
for band?
Just for that, yes.
Awesome.
There's not a separate one for marching band or the other classes. We've got one Google Classroom and we use it. We'll talk about it a lot of orientation. Yeah, we use it quite a bit.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Great seeing everybody tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Again, we can't wait. Thank you all. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.
See ya.
Adios.
See ya.